Hey everyone, welcome back to Williamson Ridge Outdoors. Today we've got another push mower over here because it is springtime and it is time to cut grass. I've been doing a few push mowers on the channel and actually have purchased all these mowers myself. I have to say one of the mowers that I had recently purchased that I had really high expectations, once I got it out in the real world and was actually cutting real grass, a good established yard, it was really disappointing. So I actually ended up having a window that I could actually return that one back to the place where I bought it. And so I did that, and what I ended up replacing it with was this right here, the Milwaukee M18 fuel self-propelled push mower. But there's also a huge difference in the price of it. The other one was $500. This mower is $1,000, $999. Now this mower is aimed at the commercial user, not the residential user. I will run through and point out a few of the features that I really like on this mower and a couple things that I think they could have possibly made a little bit better. And then we're going to go take it and hit some grass. Has not been mowed this year at all, and it's actually out in my hay field. So it's going to be a really good test to see whether this thing can power through that tall grass. So a few things that I do like on this mower. One is it does have the single handle adjustment for the deck height. This actually works extremely well and extremely easy. Another really well thought out thing are these handles, so that whenever you need to load it into a back of a pickup truck or something, you've got handles to actually grab a hold of this thing. This mower is not a lightweight mower, and those handles really help that. Also, the release for the handles, these are pretty easy. You just flip them. They got a little lock that kind of holds it out. So you can just turn this side, it's locked out. And then you can adjust your handles to whatever position or even fold them all the way up. So when you get the handles locked down into place, then you can just grab the end of it, raise it up, and now it's ready to store. You can put it up against a wall or something in your garage. It has a Milwaukee specific blade on it, and this is the standard blade, but you can get a high lift blade for it. So just a couple other quick details. The lever here to engage your safety lock in order to be able to start the mower, this thing folds down, but they've got a recessed place here in the handle so that it comes back and it almost just feels like one round handle. It doesn't feel like you've got that bar sticking out. And so that's really a good design thing that they've kind of incorporated into this. Also, your drive, you have a speed selector here, and it's basically an infinite selector from, I believe it goes from 1.5 miles per hour up to 4 miles an hour. But it's got a 1 through 5 on it, and you can set this dial to whatever you want. But then you can also vary the speed with the handle back here. So the only thing really that I can find other than the weight disadvantage, this one, like I say, weighs about 85 pounds with the batteries in it. So it is somewhat heavy. The only other thing are these knobs right here. I just kind of wish maybe they'd have done some kind of a little quick gadget here instead of having these that you have to take loose and then take a bolt out to be able to take the handles off or fold them up farther. If they would have done something like this where you just flip the knob over and it unlocks it, then I just feel that that would have been just a little bit neater design. But I don't really think the handles are meant to take on and off because they do fold down pretty well flat anyways. But I actually have another mower that this section actually will shorten way down and make it even more compact whenever you try to store it. So I would like to have seen that maybe on this $1,000 lawnmower. Don't know if I'll ever be cutting the grass in the dark, but it does have these LED headlights, and it even has some little surround LEDs to light you up 180-degree light path so that you can see in low light conditions. So with all that being said, let's grab the batteries for this thing, load them up. We're going to head out here to the hay field and hit some pretty tall grass with it. We're going to be using the rear or side discharge. This mower, if you notice, did not have a side discharge to it. And what they do actually is have a rear discharge, but it turns a 90-degree and comes out the side. So the rear/side discharge is very easy to install. You just raise up the cover. You got a couple little arrows on there. You just stick it in between, and it actually just falls right into place. And then the cover then holds pressure on it, holds it in place. So our first test here is actually going to be, will this thing start up in tall grass? It's having a little trouble. This is really tall stuff though. So I'm gonna turn the high lift mode on and see if that changes anything. There it goes. So this is a bit much to be starting this in. You can see this grass is as tall as the lawnmower is. So I did have a little trouble starting up. I had to try this a couple times. That really was asking a lot of it. None of the other mowers that I've tried would have even come close to doing that. But actually, after trying this one a few times, it did kind of power through it and go ahead and start up. But in this kind of stuff, really, it would be best on any mower to raise it up before you powered up the blades. But I wanted to just see if it would do it, because again, this stuff's really tall. This is probably 12 inches tall, and I'm taking it down to about 3 inches, if that. It's taking it pretty close. So I'm going to mow with it for a few minutes. We're going to see how it does, see if it tries to clog up or anything like that, and just put this thing to the test. I'm not using the high lift mode. I'm going to let the mower decide what power that it needs. So I gotta say, that's what I was wanting out of a push mower. You can see how tall this grass was. I mean, it was close to 12 inches back here in this back corner. It was as tall as the lawnmower. I've taken it down in one pass down to only about 2.5, 3 inches. I mean, this is pretty impressive, and it's not clogged up on me. So I put the camera over here to the side so you can kind of see the hill that I'm mowing on. And it's really hard to tell on camera how steep a hill is, but you know, this is fairly steep through here, and the mower's just pulling itself up and down the hill with no problems. Also, it's pushing through this grass, and some of this grass is heavy and thick enough to where it's actually raising the front of the mower up as it's pushing over it, because it's just such a thick patch of grass. So another thing too, I know it's kind of hard to tell again how tall the grass is, and this is almost to the height of the mower, but it was taller over in here by probably 4 or 5 inches than it is over in this spot. And it just powered right through this stuff, and a couple patches, like I say, was so stiff and like so tall, like the mower would raise up in the front end to go over top of it, and then it'd come down on it when the blades hit it and chop it up and spit it out. So initial impressions on this thing, I am thoroughly impressed. I try not to do an actual review video on something until after I've used it for a while. That's why I'll put videos up that'll say my first impressions. And you know, my first impressions, like with my Echo mower that I had, you know, were pretty good. But after using it for a while and actually getting to experience it in real world use, I wasn't happy with it at all. This mower, my thoughts could change, but my initial impressions right now are, I wish I'd have bought this first. This mower is probably more powerful, or feels more powerful, than probably any push mower I've ever used. And that's saying a lot, because I actually used to mow grass as a teenager coming up into age and everything. That's what I did to earn money, was mow lawns and stuff, and I had pretty good equipment. And I've used a lot of mowers and a lot of equipment and have pretty good experience with it. And this mower exceeds pretty much everything I've ever used. So that's a pretty bold statement coming from a first impression. But the good thing is, if you stick around with the channel, this is actually going to be a long-term product, something that was purchased, for the channel, that we're going to use over time and probably over a period of several years on the channel, and keep you up to date on how this thing holds up, how it lasts, how the batteries last. We are going to have like full run times and stuff on it, just to give you real world experience and stuff with it. And if you enjoyed today's video, appreciate you hitting that thumbs up button. Also, it really goes a long way in helping out the channel. Make sure to stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next one.